What's up everybody, earlier today we got a new teaser for Overwatch Hero 32, and while I already did a video covering the teaser specifically, now I wanted to take a more in-depth look at what this teaser might actually be telling us about who Hero 32 is, the story behind them, and just break down all the details it has to offer, which there actually seem to be quite a lot of. This is Master Ian Gamer, and let's get into it. Real quick first though, I'd just like to mention that if you end up enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe and body slam that bell, as that really helps out my channel and lets you keep up to date with all future Overwatch news and other content. But now, on to Hero 32. So first up, the thing that I've seen a lot of people bringing up is the supposed release date of Hero 32, which appears to be March 20th. Now, the reason people are pointing this out is because at the top we see the date March XXth, which most people seem to think the two X's are Roman numerals here, meaning March 20th. However, I don't think that's actually the case. I think we're actually going to be seeing the hero even earlier than that. While it's true that the Roman numeral X stands for 10, X is also used in the sense to just give a sort of vague number. Typically, you see this in sort of like sci-fi stories and games where it's like, oh, this takes place in year 20XX, which is basically their way of getting away with having to have a specific year. They can just say, oh, it's the year 2000 and something. We don't have to be specific. We can just say 20XX. And I think that's what they're doing here by saying March XX, just to say we don't have a specific date for it. However, what I think the actual date is, at least when it comes to the hero being revealed and put to PTR, is March 19th, not the 20th. And there's a few reasons supporting this. First and foremost, it's a Thursday. Most of the time we see PTR patches and live patches go up on either a Tuesday or a Thursday. That's not the case every single time, but for the most part it is, especially when you have a larger patch that has something like a new hero in it. So, given that March 19th is a Thursday, I think it's probably referring to the 19th. Furthermore, there are actually some leaks these past couple weeks, mainly coming from the French Overwatch streamer AlphaCast, who seem to be teasing that something big would be happening on March 19th, even kind of suggested it could be a new hero. I hadn't actually talked about these leaks on my channel previously because I wasn't super convinced one way or the other about whether he was actually leaking accurate information. Of course, I had my own reasons for why I thought the new hero was going to be coming out this week, which either way turned out to be right. But at this point, I do think it's safe to say that AlphaCast probably had inside information, and him teasing March 19th definitely suggests that March 19th at this point is the most likely date. Now, moving on from the date, what do we know about the hero specifically? Well, based on this teaser, there are two prime candidates for who this new hero could be: Liao and Echo. Now, if you're not familiar with Liao, I strongly recommend you watch a video I put out only about a month ago, where I actually went pretty in depth with covering who Liao was based on the information we had at the time. And while we do have a bit more info now, specifically Liao's first name, which is Mina, basically everything I talked about in my previous videos still stands. So again, I'll have that video linked in the description and cards on screen, so check it out when you're done watching this video just for all the details on her. The new info we get on Liao is that she's evidently some sort of scientist or engineer, maybe a programmer as well, who specializes with AI technologies. We of course have a number of scientist heroes already, so there's nothing really new in that regard, but I get the feeling that this could turn out to be something of an Ify Orisa situation, where Liao is sort of this character responsible for the actual hero, which in this case seems like it's going to end up being Echo, mainly because of just how much Echo as a character and a hero has been teased by the developers over the past year and a half, with Jeff very specifically saying that she would be playing a significant role in the path leading up to Overwatch 2. Now, he never specified that she would be released as a hero before Overwatch 2, but he seemed to emphasize that there would be a heavy importance on the character Echo prior to the release of the sequel. In addition to that, we know that there is going to be at least one new hero released before the sequel, which probably is going to end up meaning only one new hero. So, just sort of logical conclusion, Echo was the most likely candidate. However, looking at the details of this teaser, it seems pretty evident that Liao made Echo. Even though Echo isn't mentioned specifically in this teaser, we do see that Liao was apparently responsible for creating Athena, who I'm sure we all recognize as being the announcer in the Overwatch PvP game, as well as the AI, which is on Winston's computer in Watchpoint Gibraltar. Furthermore, if we go way back into old concept art, we see this character, which looks like what we know now as being Echo. However, instead of having the Echo logo on her forehead, she used to have the same logo that Athena has, which at the time led many people to assume that this character was Athena. Of course, that ended up being not the case after it was revealed that the character was in fact Echo, but there was still this sort of weird feeling of why did the old version have the Athena logo on her head, but the new version has a different logo and she's not named Athena, she's named Echo, and Athena's already a character. It was kind of confusing, and the devs sort of just hand-waved it away like, oh, we just had that logo there to fill space. It wasn't supposed to signify that that character was Athena. It was just, just to give it more detail. And maybe that's true. Personally, I think back in the day that character design was going to be Athena, but as time went on, they decided to make Athena the AI on the computer as opposed to a playable hero. But then they probably liked the general character design of that character enough that they're like, all right, let's bring it back as a character. We obviously can't make it Athena since she's the announcer of the game, so it wouldn't make sense for her to be a playable hero and the announcer. We'll create a new character, Echo, which uses that same character design. And since the devs are obviously aware of the confusion in the community between Echo and Athena, I'm sure that at least played something of a role in the idea that Liao made Athena as a prototype AI, and then afterwards made Echo. So, in a sense, you could maybe even say that Athena and Echo are sisters, or whatever that would mean when they're both computers and one of them's an omnic, the other one's an AI, whatever that would end up being. Now, the other main question that's worth asking is the connection between Liao and Echo. Is it just Liao is the creator and Echo is the creation? Or is it a bit weirder than that? Is Echo actually the soul or consciousness of Liao, just in an omnic robot form? Maybe Liao dies or gives up her consciousness to become Echo and to become this very human-like omnic. It's a very interesting theory, and one that I have heard proposed even long before this teaser ever came out, but based on the other information we have in this teaser, I actually don't think that's the case. The main reason for that is that a huge component of this teaser is Liao lamenting the fact that humans in general aren't trusting omnics. Liao very specifically says that an artificial life is still fundamentally life, and her entire goal, it seems like, is to get people to accept omnics as, well, people. So if her goal is to convince people that omnics are just as valuable as a conscious entity as a human being, wouldn't it defeat the purpose if Echo was just her? Because Echo wouldn't be an actual omnic, she would technically just be a human. That would completely defeat the purpose of trying to justify that omnics are as valuable as humans, because Echo is just a human. Echo is just Liao. That's like taking a human brain, putting it in a frog, and saying, look, all frogs are humans. No, it doesn't work like that. So because of that, I don't think that Echo is Liao. I think Echo is an omnic created by her that obviously has a very human-like quality to her. She seems very comforting, very friendly, very human, but is definitely still an omnic because from a thematic point of view, it's important that she's an omnic. She can't be human, or that defeats the entire purpose of her trying to represent how human omnics can be. That is just my thoughts on it though. I could easily see people going in different directions with this and seeing alternate explanations for how Echo might actually be Liao or whatever. Personally though, I don't think that's the case. I think they are separate entities. As for where Liao is then, since she's one of the 6 founding members of Overwatch, but has not been named or shown at all since before Overwatch even launched as a game. I don't know. I don't know what she's been up to. Maybe she died. Maybe she made Echo and then died, and that's going to somehow play into some important aspect of Echo's character. Maybe Liao's death will be some sort of major component in making Echo become as, I don't know, emotional and important as she evidently is. At this point, it's really getting into areas where we just don't have enough detail or information yet to make any sort of decision about what's going on, but I'd love to hear your ideas, so leave those down in the comments below. Another thing to note though is that if Echo was built specifically to be a very human-like omnic, that also means that she'll probably be a support hero, which is something I've been saying for literally since we first saw her, just based on the way she acts and the way she's physically designed. She comes across as a very gentle character, which definitely makes her seem like a support. And I think that's even further indicated by the fact that we now know she was specifically designed to make humans more comfortable with omnics in general. So I definitely am on board with the idea of her being a support. Now that's about all there really is to dig through in this specific post when it comes to Liao, Echo, who the new hero is going to be, but there is one other very interesting thing stated, which I've seen a lot of people bringing up already, which is the tidbit mentioning the London omnics claiming they heard the music. A lot of people have been connecting this to Sigma's music, since that's the other prominent character we know who has some sort of weird connection with music, but how exactly does that tie in? These are omnics who are potentially becoming enlightened in some sense, and now they're just hearing music? Okay. Sigma underwent some crazy black hole experiment, and now the music he hears is presumably the music of the universe? We don't really know, it's kind of vague. So how exactly would those two things even be tied together? Well, believe it or not, there might already be something of an established connection here. Now, I did actually talk about this a bit in a video way back when Sigma first released, where I was talking about the story and deep lore of Sigma as a character, and one of the things I talked about in that video was the connection between Sigma and Zarya, and that they both utilize gravity-based technology. Or for Sigma, it's more of like weird god powers. I don't think it's really technology he's utilizing there, but still, they're both gravity-based heroes and have rather interesting origins when it comes to their gravity technology. For Sigma, it was being nearly killed by a black hole he created, and for Zarya, it came from the Tobelsteins, who created the Tobelstein reactor, which we have evidence to suggest came from the omnics. Now, I'll admit this theory could be wildly inaccurate and just a crazy stretch, but the fact that we're now hearing that omnics are hearing music and are seemingly responsible for creating the Tobelstein reactor, which has the gravity components which Zarya utilizes in her weapon, and the other hero who hears music is Sigma, who again has gravity-based mechanics when it comes to the accident he underwent and the powers he got from that. Is it too much of a stretch to assume there's some weird gravity-related component when it comes to how omnics work and whatever unique technology it is that omnics have in order to operate and think as a conscious being? Once again, I would strongly recommend you check out that original video I did back during Sigma's release, as there's so much information in there that I really can't delve into all in this video. It'd just be worthwhile to just go back and watch that video. I'll have it linked in the cards and description as well, but let me know what you think about that component as well. The idea of there being some weird gravity-based omnic energy or technology at play within the Overwatch universe that ties not only to Sigma and his ability to manipulate gravity, but also the way that an omnic mind or consciousness actually works. Again, could all just be crazy speculation, but something that I love thinking about and could be very interesting to see how they develop it. Anyways, these are all the big ideas I was able to pick up on from just this one Hero 32 teaser. I assume we'll be getting more teasers either tomorrow or later this week leading up to March 19th, which I do assume will be the date that the hero goes to PTR. But let me know your thoughts in general in the comments down below. Are you excited to finally be getting Hero 32? And which character do you think it's going to be? Do you think it'll be Liao, or do you think it'll be Echo? Or maybe both. Maybe you're convinced that they're one and the same. Either way, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and share it with your friends if you really liked it. Subscribe, body slam that bell, follow me on Twitter, and join my Discord server to never miss any of my future Overwatch content. And if you want to support my channel, then hit that join button down below to get some cool rewards like the people you see here on screen. Otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.